Okay, a little storytelling time here. So let me flip the camera around. So I already know that I got that in over there, right? Looks pretty good. Well, came back and I did this patchwork over here. I actually got these holes filled. They're nice and filled. There's one little hole right there, kind of right in the corner. But anyways, I'll deal with that. But I get this metal in. Pretty happy with that. Now, I took donor fender all jacked up. I know people think I'm crazy, but this fender was dead. I'm telling you, it was all rotted out. It was dead. I didn't need it. I got one. There it is. So it was just a donor metal at that point. So I actually pulled some out right here and replaced this piece, which we knew was very bad. We had all kinds of holes in there. In fact, here it is. I did the old cutting butt again, right? Actually, it goes around this way, but this is the top side where, you know, as I welded it in, I was able to come back and cut again and pull the whole metal out. This was where it was all missing. You know what I mean? It was just really bad in there, so it had to be replaced. Now, I've done that, but here's the storytelling side of it. I'm almost positive that, I know it is. I'm not even almost, I'm positive that I don't have it bent right. Again, understand, I didn't have any type of reference. I did, but I didn't because it's gone here, right? So I couldn't completely match it up. I had a reference in that I have this side, which I should have just been more visual in looking at that side, because this is all good around here, stitched in pretty decent, couple pinholes I still deal with, but you know, stitched in place. It's bent from this flat piece of metal. It's now bent and, you know, it's doing the thing, right? I was able to form that pretty decent. All up in this corner over in here, that's really good. All the way around here. The problem is this point is the right height to the floor. This point is not. This is too high. So this is right much higher than this side. Now in the corner back over here, that's the same height here as it is over here, but it's got a little bit, I don't know if you can see it. See, it's got a bit of a scoop right down in there. My finger keeps unfocusing the camera, but in that far left corner, it scoops down and it drops pretty good. I don't have that. I've got the right height here on that corner, but it doesn't really scoop down. It kind of goes more straight across. And that was just inexperience and whatever. But we're going to lay a floor in there, and I'll bring you back in a minute and we'll see what it looks like. I did get these pieces tore out clean. That piece is out clean. I haven't welded them in yet, but you know, I did get that replaced, so it looks good there. Just nice and clean. It's going to work. This is all nice and clean. So we'll stick the floor in. Well, that's a pain in the butt, but we'll do that and we'll come back. Whew, that thing is tough to get in. So this is what we're, you know, it's sitting there and nice and clean here. Look at that. Sitting on that nice new metal over there. Sitting on a nice new metal. We are clean. We are good to go here. Over here, I mean, it's wrong and we know it's wrong. So I'm up right up in here. And I'm definitely up there. So I'm probably going to do something. But it ain't up much. I'll tell you, it really isn't. I mean, I can push down there. So as much as I know it's wrong, I don't know that it actually makes a great big huge hill of beans in the overall scheme of things, right? We got a couple of seat mounts that'll have to be welded right back in here and one right over here. Not a whole seat in there, but I don't know. I'm gonna pull some measurements probably from the floor to the ceiling and kind of look at it and see, you know, what it all looks like, but we'll walk around just to kind of get a better look at it over here. I mean, it's, like I said, that's the high side, right? And so this side, I mean, you can see it, it's sitting pretty good. I mean, it's got a little bit of a bounce to it, but I mean, it's not much. Really what's holding me up more than anything else is right here. I'm out to, you know, do a little banging around. I mean, that right there, is enough just for the panel itself, the reproduction panel just being off a little bit. So, I mean, I guarantee you, there's been a lot of people that had a lot worse fits than this is fitting right now, even with my patch panel that I've made over here. And I mean, I shouldn't have to do a whole lot more to that. I don't really think. I don't know. I'm gonna look at it more when I can. Of course, the problem is work is getting in the way again, and I got to stop working on my hobby. All I want to do is hang out with my dog, you know. But work's getting in the way. I went to California last time I talked about work. This time I got to go to Alabama. So, and I don't live in either one of those places. So, anyways, I got to go do that, and I can't stay with this as much as I'd like to. But it's sitting in place, and I feel good. I can walk away and know that everything's sitting in. Super proud of this right here. I know it's dumb, but I'm super proud of that and that over there. I didn't do any filming on that and over there. You know, same deal as this side, just over on that side for the most part. But other than cleaning up the welds right across the top, that's good. Cleaning up these welds, and I don't know. I was thinking about it. I mean, I can cut that piece and relieve it, add some metal in there, and I should be able to kind of do that. I probably will, just because, well, I'm not looking for perfection. I am looking for good. Right there, I'm going to have to take out a piece of metal and put it in right there, because just a little piece, there's a hole right there I want to deal with. And there was something else, I think, over here somewhere. Maybe something small. But, shoot, man. This is a win, you know? This is actually starting to look like a together car again. I'm going to get it all laying down there pretty, and then get my notepad, start, you know, pulling, like I talked about in an earlier video where I had these points on the outside of the car where I can pull tape here to here, and I labeled it, you know, just side 1, angle 1, angle 4. I just named that to name it something, and I put on my paperwork that I was pulling from like A1 to A2 or A1 to A3 at a diagonal, and then S1 to this side over here. I mean, that length, the top and bottom. So I just use these as points on the car when I knew it was still together and body lines were coming together. So before I weld anything, I would get it in place and be like, okay, I'm happy. I'm ready to drop a plug weld in here right now. But before I do, I will pull measurements again, right? Drop in, weld here, weld here, weld here, weld here, weld here. 3 across here, 3, 4 across here, 3 or 4 across here. Just kind of get it just a little bit in place, right? Not in place. And I figure I will, at that point, do the measurements again, double check myself, and then just, you know, own it at that point. Finish my welding, get the seat risers in. Engine update. Oh, real quick. So, as we know, okay, I'm not sure where my phone started screwing up on me. Anyways, I was giving myself a quick update. I've taken out most of the stuff. You know, there's no more wire harness around here, so I've done that much. The master cylinder went out. I still got to take the steering out. And, God, I've been looking into the suspension. And I really, you know, I mean, I want to replace it just because I don't know if there's anything wrong with it, but I'd like to replace it. But I'm also kind of poor, so, you know, I don't know that I can. This might be going right back in. But I am thinking about that Shelby drop because everybody says to do that. Literally, they said it's one of the best things you can do. This is one thing I never really got to show before. I did this panel already. I had replaced this one because of the battery box being bad, and it ate it all up. But it's not great. It's in, but it's not great. But I had figured once the engine came out that I could come back and, you know, get it a little bit better. It's pretty good, but it's not perfect. So I got to get it a little bit better around these edges, especially now I can get up in there, right? And I couldn't do that before. I couldn't get in there with a welder, but now I can get down here and be happy and get it. But anyways, I think that'll clean up nicely, and I can continue to work on that. But as you see, there is no engine. Engine has been dropped off, and it's now at the shop. You know, they haven't called me. They haven't, I don't know when they'll do the measurements and stuff on it, checking it, but looks like it had already been bored over at 4.0 on a previous build. Who knows when that happened? But at the same time, cylinder walls looked really, really clean. So hopefully, I knew it had been bored out to that 4 because of the pistons itself. I know I saw that on the pistons, that marking. So that was kind of unfortunate. I wish it hadn't been bored out as much as it had, because there's no more opportunity. I mean, maybe one more boring, but that's it. You know what I mean? Anything past that, now we're sleeving and all that kind of stuff, and it becomes a much more difficult project. I don't think I'm there to that, because these cylinders looked really good, and I think that they're going to be able to, assuming it mics out right, I think they'll be able to hone it, put me some nice crosshatch in there, and clean everything up and give it back to me, and I will then rebuild an engine, right? But so hopefully I can save a little bit of effort there. Hopefully it's not too bad. I am got the cam right there, you know. But I was pretty meticulous in the way I disassembled everything. Literally every valve, intake and exhaust. And I pulled the rod and the lifter with that, and the rocker that came with it, you know, literally the rocker itself. And they're in a bag. Both those two bags were intake and exhaust. They're in the bag with the piston, and that's in a big Ziploc gallon bag. So I could technically put it right back together and reuse this cam, but I don't think I'm going to. It's probably cost me $1,000, and I'll go to a roller just to kind of update it. Also make it a little easier for oil usage in the future. From what I understand, the way my cam is, I really need the older style oil, and that's even hard to get a hold of nowadays. So synthetic is not the best for that, from what I understand. I couldn't tell you. I don't know. I'm just telling you what I've heard. Maybe future Jim knows more about it. He probably does. So he can watch this one day and say, yeah, I know. This is why. But this Jim doesn't know. He doesn't know yet. He didn't know any of this stuff, but he's learning. So that's the cool thing. I like learning. So it'll be neat. All right, rambling. See you later.